COVID here, COVID there, COVID everywhere. Anyway, page 89. We're going to the revision. I know we won't do the exam till Wednesday next week, but that is me doing like, what am I gonna do? So this is part 1, so make sure you record the mistakes even if there are only 4. These are verb patterns. This is difficult, but you need to get better because sometimes you have it in the ABCD exercise, you may have it in the rewriting. Very frequently you will have this in the rewriting. If it's not in the exam for Unit 8, I'll include it in the exam for Unit 8. So notice, read the sentence, and notice the pattern, like the object, ing, whatever. So 3, 2, 1, make sure you've done it. So my boss advise, you advise someone to something. You recommend or you suggest someone, the subject, do something. So we encouraged. Want, normally want is with negative, so write it down. Want plus not plus infinitive with 2. The other day, except for 1, you all did it very well. Writing, blame someone for doing something. Okay, so they were warned to arrive early. They were encouraged to arrive early. Applicants are the people who apply for a job. Okay, you have application, the noun, apply the verb, and applicant is the person, the noun, but the person who does it. Recommend, they recommended. Okay, we're encouraged to, someone is encouraged to do something like, come on, do it. Number 3, object to ing. Notice to miss out something. To me, you can miss out on something on the visit to the museum. You insist on ing. He claimed that. Claim is like say. Number 4, admitted that. Admitted. There are 2 patterns, so write this down. Admitted that, like he said that, and the other pattern is admit to doing something. Admit to ing, and the 2 can be omitted, so you put the 2 in parentheses. Admit, okay, in parentheses 2 plus ing. I admitted, some of you admitted to having copied. So you blame someone for, you accuse someone of ing. Number 5, the teacher, what I told you before, you see, not to do something. Normally it's negative. So these 2 are not possible. Number 6, accuse of ing. I told you before, no, with this one. Accuse someone of ing. The someone is the object here. Sometimes someone is the subject, like recommend. I recommend you do, or I recommend he do. And sometimes it's the object. Okay, I accuse him, not he. 7, doubted that. Okay, doubted normally you use it with whether. I doubted whether you'll be able to come. I doubted that, like a complete sentence, like said. And number 8, insist on ing. I told you before. Number 3, insist on ing. So you record this in part 1 with the correct pattern. Number 2 is the typical exercise. You have to rewrite the sentences. Now, things that you have to be careful with. Between 3, sometimes you write 7 words between 3 and 6. Contractions count as 2. Same meaning. Don't change things that don't need to be changed. For example, Sam is here. Sam is not here. Sam must appear. Okay, so that's what it means. That's what it means. Don't change the verb tense unless you have to. Sometimes you are forced to change the verb tense. Sometimes you change it because you don't realize and you change it. So that's a mistake. We've seen many examples like that. Ready? So, yeah, and always look at the word and think about what structure you're expected to use, and then make that structure fit. So recommend it. So recommend someone do something. Then someone is Sam. Okay, so you have the structure. You know what you need, and the same. Okay, and then make sure that reality is the same, apart from making sure the words are there, the words that are missing, or the idea. Make sure that reality is the same, especially with unreal tenses. Here you may not have any cases like that. Okay, but concentration. So make sure you've done it. 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to give you the answers yet. I'm going to give you a clue. I will give you one at a time. Sorry, my daughter needs some help. She's in the office. A great day today. So here I told you recommend plus subject plus infinitive without 2. Sorry, that was my daughter again. So 3, 2, 1. Recommending some travel. Okay, I told you recommend someone, subject. Okay, and then infinite without to. It's true you can say that some travel and that some should travel, but normally some travel. Next one. Will not fluctuate, so the collocation, the verb that goes with is stable. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Remain stable is the collocation. Stay stable, I don't know, you can look it up on the internet. I'm going to check. Remain stable, more than 4 million results. Stay stable, 500,000 results, so not enough. Remain stable. Okay, number 3. So was at its highest point, so which verb goes with peak? A peak, and then make sure you write the correct form of verb. 3, 2, 1. Reached a peak in June. Okay, you can say its peak also. Reach its peak or reached a peak. Reached a or its peak. You can say both. Okay, number 4. With drop, again, which verb do you use with drop? This is a very normal verb. Okay. Okay, last year, so failed, this is past simple, so you have to be careful with that. 3, 2, 1. Okay, there was a drop in demand. Now you have to notice this, the demand and in demand. I'll explain something about this very quickly. I don't know, I mentioned something, but I don't think it was with your group. You watch Netflix offers content on demand. When I was in America, remember, this was 14 years ago, when I was young. Sorry, content on demand. This means that you can watch it whenever you want, like Netflix. So I had Chromecast on demand. It was like Movistar Plus, something like that, but 15 years ago. And it had some content on demand. You could go to channel number 1 and you had lots of films and series that you could watch whenever you wanted. So that was content on demand. That's one thing. That is whenever you want. Or a baby. When should I feed my baby? You can feed your baby on demand. Like a demanda. Whenever your baby wants to eat, you feed the baby. And then there's been a drop or a raise in demand, or you can say in the demand for. Okay, so in demand for. It's in great demand. It's in demand. Está demandado. Demandado, like people want it. Okay, it's in great demand. Hay mucha demanda. So it's a different idea. So remember, this is part 4, and I don't know why I got on the way out. Because of this. Because of this. Okay. So the government. This is passive, and then the correct pattern. You accuse someone of doing something, but notice that this is passive. So check it, try to correct it. I'm going to give you the answer. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so is accused of not building. You could say has been accused also. Is accused or has been, because hasn't built, people claim hasn't built, so has been accused from the past until now. But it's true that people claim is present. So both are correct. Of not doing something. Okay, you're accused of not doing. And knowledgeable, such a good knowledge, so you need to use a different structure. When you have the adjective, it was such a pleasant day, it was such a warm day. So it was so. 3, 2, 1, and then the preposition. Probably you had some problems. Knowledgeable of, knowledge of, and knowledgeable about. So you may have made a mistake with that. And my daughter needs me. So some more vocabulary. You have the words up there. So read it carefully. Notice, sometimes in this exercise, you don't notice whether you need a verb or a noun. Understand? Noun, adjective, comparative adjective, third form of the verb, adverb. So this is a clue already. Okay, so notice which part of a speech you need, and then they should make it less difficult. Okay, so try to do it, write the words, afterwards read it to see if it reads nicely, and I'm going to show you the answer in 3, 2, 1. I think I pressed a button, but it didn't work. So I was telling you that notice that you use the correct part of speech and so on. So one increasing trend, the trend is increasing. Adjective, noun. So steadily has been rising. How? The adverb that modifies the verb. Significant, notice significant, insignificant with an I, the negative, significance, the noun. So, significant, rise in demand. You need a noun after, and there are so many options. Rise, un aumento. You could say growth, perhaps, but a growth in demand. You could say, but then you need growth for the other one. So, here you need growth, you can say rise. That's why. Perhaps you could say growth. Okay, so you need a noun. So, una área de crecimiento. Lower taxes, the taxes are lower. Okay. Has overtaken, has, you need the third form of the verb. So has overtaken, has, overtake is sobrepasar. And a prediction for the future, it is expected that something or something is expected to happen. So there isn't a sign of a drop in demand because it will continue to grow, it will grow in, so the opposite is a drop in demand. Notice again, in demand for. And the last one is vocabulary. So go ahead, choose the one that you think is correct. And I'm going to give the answers in 3, 2, 1, make sure you've done it. So cut off from, this was in the dangerous game. No, you're cut off from the outside word. So notice from, sometimes you have problems with the second preposition. And there are two. You have problems with the first one, but then when there are two, it's even worse. Okay. So to maintain is like similar to preserve. Manipulate has a different meaning. Manipulate was in the other exam, no? The results had been manipulated or something. Culture shock, that's a collocation. A sense of belonging is a collocation. It's like that you belong to a place, to have a sense of belonging. So if you are uprooted, then you won't have a sense of belonging anymore.